And today is the 23rd of April. This is Brad Matheny, and this is the Plan Your Trade video for April 23rd, Wednesday. We are looking at an SPY cycle pattern of a Rally-111 in bearish trending in a carryover mode. Now, we've had a pretty good move, and remember, we're likely to stay in this boxed area. I'll do this in yellow so you guys can see it. I think we're going to stay pretty much in this boxed area, maybe getting up a little higher into the 540, 550 area. The markets tend to want to be bullish generally, as I've told you. So given an absence of bearish concern or uncertainty, the markets tend to want to go higher. And what that means is that, we're kind of looking at, I think, around this April 28th, 25th, end of this week, early next week, we're looking at kind of a topping pattern here and moving into that downward trend, like I've been telling you. My analysis, even though, hold on, guys, visual order, bring to front. Even though the May low is setting up here, we're going through a little bit of rotation. Now, I will tell you that, this big high up here set up a very big range, and we could be moving into kind of an A, B, C type of a move, because remember, I had highlighted the fact that, we have resistance still up here that could come into play. So there's, I think this is the upper resistance area from this standout high. But we still have this standout high back over here, the initial resistance area before the tariffs, where we could be moving into this channel and then moving down into that deeper roll here into the May low. So be aware of the fact that we could still have, the rest of this week, a bit more of an expansion up into that 550, 560 area that I initially talked about. After the tariffs, we had that breakdown, we had that consolidation. Now it looks like the markets are, shaking off the tariff concerns and realizing that, there's still opportunity once these things get settled. I would be very cautious around the 29th and 30th of April for a potential breakdown. Remember my May, I think it's May 2nd. Come here. Yeah, May 2nd bottom and May 2nd peak. So we have both a peak and a bottom setting up but a major bottom on May 2nd. So understand that we are going to likely, in this area, May 2nd, right here, which happens to be a Friday, carrying into next week, this whole area is going to be, come here. Sorry, I got the sniffles this morning. This whole area is going to be really our breakdown zone, okay? So, April 25th, 28th, I think the end of this week, going into next week is going to be pretty cautious. I would urge traders to, by Thursday, Friday, maybe moving into some shorts. Remember, I'm not telling you what to do. I can't really tell you, but I would say that the buying opportunity really dissipates and diminishes by Friday, and that you have a very good opportunity of a breakdown low by May 8th, 9th, 10th, okay? Same thing goes with the QQQ. We still have that upper range. Highlighted it up here. I'll make it blue so you can see it. I highlighted these areas saying that these would be solid target areas for the QQQ to move higher. We are at 457, quite a bit higher. I picked this area 464 and this area 474 Again, I don't see a reason why we can't move up into this upper channel, breaking above this, kind of testing these upper areas, and then potentially rolling down into that early May low. I do believe that the early May low is going to be, near this support level. Again, that's the early May bottom or low setting up. But again, we could easily see a move up here to the upside. Not trying to battle this thing. Really do think that we're looking at a rollover here by, let's see, the 28th, 29th. This is actually a little off. I would tell you that really Monday, Friday, so right in this area. This is where you need to start prepping for that downward move, okay? Try to do this a little differently. Arrow marker down. And again, guys, this is going to be up to you how you want to play it. I think that today and tomorrow is about all we got left of maybe a potential upward move. So we got carryover tomorrow in trend, and then we have an inside breakaway. Yeah, you might get a big move up until Friday, but then we move into this inside breakaway, carryover, and this major crush. That's probably going to be our top and bottom formation setting up. This is potentially a very big breakdown. And you can see we move back into bearish exhaustion, gap potential, gap reversal, gap breakaway, carryover, and inside breakaway before we get to the rally mode over here around the 12th. So this whole week, let me come in here and highlight. And this is really the strength of my cycle patterns, being able to, kind of see. When you add these with the data I have from the cycle research I do for subscribers, it provides a very big opportunity. So we could end up getting some real rotation right in this area. We could then end up getting a big breakdown in this area. And then we could end up moving into kind of a basing rally phase in this area. So it puts us at our base bottom, really potentially being 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, so really, upward trending here. So I would say that you have fairly solid upward trending as we've been getting up until maybe Friday. Friday's kind of a maybe day. And then we move into consolidation, rollover, topping downward, major crush, breakdown. And then we move into kind of an early bottoming stage, maybe right in this area before we start to rally up on these bars. Okay? Again, pause the video if you want, keep an eye on it. But that is a pretty good outline. So we come over here. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. Where's my main? It's not there. It's right here. I hope. Yep. Bitcoin had this big breakout. And I talked to you guys about it yesterday, indicating that we could be invalidating. I don't think so. And that's my own opinion. I mean, in reality, I'm going to draw it differently. We have a range here that is still considered a consolidation range. So ultimately, guys, you need to understand that this big purple range is still considered valid consolidation. Once we get the excess phase peak pattern top and flagging, we set up this upper range. This is considered the ultimate high. And as we're moving downward, we're setting up ultimate lows. So these then become new ultimate lows. In order for the pattern to complete, we would roll downward like this. This is where my projected levels were, where I drew all the stuff before. And we would be looking at a lower low down in this area. So in theory, we have next would be a downward trend into this area. That would be the next phase of the pattern. Invalidation would have to come all the way up and get above this level, this 108, 109 level. So I would be very cautious of this being a false breakout, a bull trap, so to say, and rolling downward. I would be very cautious of this rolling back down into these lows. Very, very cautious right now. Still, I am bullish. I have no other understanding that market is breaking above the high. We're still in a consolidation phase. At this point, I would be looking for this trend upward to continue, but in the back of my mind, I would still understand that until we get above this level, the 108 level, we are in what should be happening next is a rollover to the downside. That's the most logical, highest probability outcome right now. Lowest probability outcome is that it will continue to expand upward into and break a new rally. Could happen. I'll give it maybe a 20 or 30% chance of happening right now. We would have to really, it would get a lot more probable if we got above this 50 level with some strong volume. If we got above that level, I think that we could see a pretty solid move higher. But like I said, right now we're not there. So I would be cautious of this uptrend in Bitcoin. And we go to gold and silver. Now, gold has come all the way back down to the levels that I suggested yesterday as a pullback level. I think this pullback in gold is, pretty well done. We're at the 3,300 level. We touched the 3,300 level again, that key level. You can see right here, silver is just beating its head against $33, trying to get above it, moving into this apex flagging, really setting up extended volatility through this apexing flag. And, I would say that gold, I think, is done personally. The gold cycle patterns are a breakdown today in carryover mode. So, we've had a very big expansion. We've had a little breakdown. You look at the patterns here. We move into a momentum rally here, then a top, then a bottom gap rally, and then a breakaway. Then we have a flat down. This is basically a breakdown pattern and a harami pattern, then a breakaway. The way I see it, gold is moving into kind of this type of consolidation in the sense that today's a breakdown pattern. We've had the close here overnight. We're going to end up opening lower. We might end up retesting down here in these lows, 20 or 32.75. And then we get the harami pattern, which would be sideways. And then I think we're going to roll right back up out of it. And again, the same thing here. I'm going to get a minor little breakdown, and we're going to roll, and then we're going to climb right back out of it. And that's ideally what I believe is going to happen. So this is a great opportunity. I may reposition a little bit here into gold. This is a very solid pullback. We might see lows below 32.80, 32.70 for gold. We may see lows below 32.60, 32.50 for silver, kind of in this area. Again, and down in this area for gold. These would be very good lows to buy into, in my opinion, for the continued rally. Remember, I still believe that gold is going to be up at 46, 4,700 by the end of May. I still honestly believe that gold is going straight up. And where I can show that to you is back over here on the daily. Try to give you a bigger picture. Gold has started this big exponential move in the expansion phase. Remember, I've been talking about these phases of operation for quite some time. And I do believe gold is going to move up to this 37, 38, 3,900 area, and then try to move up to this 47, 4,800 area. This is by July. So I still think that we have this upward move here from where gold is going into the end of May, another 550 plus points higher. To me, that is very logical. Then we stall into June, kind of trending a bit sideways, maybe back down into here. And then we rally up on a big expansion move, another 1,000 points higher. So again, you've got a nice opportunity here for another 400, 500, 600 point rally. We could easily end up in this 3,900, 4,100 type area as a peak, trying to peak out before the end of May into early June. That's again 500, 600, 700 points higher for gold. So don't be afraid of this thing being toppy, in my opinion. And again, this is just the beginning. I've talked to you about this before. Gold's going to end up being $8,900, $9,900 or more. Could be in the 16,000, 17,000 range by 2027. It's going to be really wild how this goes. And you're going to look at these videos way back over here when I first started telling you about the setup pattern and the breakaway pattern and the expansion pattern. We were way back over here, and I was talking to you about these patterns, telling you $1,800 gold, $1,700 gold, is the best opportunity of your life. And now we're at 33, 3,400. When we get up here to 5,500, you're going to be looking back at these videos going, boy, I wish I listened to Brad. But again, not to tell you, but I was buying way back over here in 2015, 16, back when it was, 11, 12, 1,300 bucks. So gold is just really, it's one of the biggest opportunities of your life right now. I mean, I would, not telling you to leverage everything and sell the cat and dog, but, figure out how to get into some kind of gold play here and hold it for the next 5 years. Watch what happens. Okay, guys, I think I'm running out of time. Yep. So we're looking at, go back to the SPY. We're looking at, these cycle patterns, and we're in a rally mode today on the SPY. I think that carries into and maybe through early next week before we roll hard to the downside. So again, come in here, edit, pencil, green. I think we, may continue into a rally mode through about here or here. And then I think we're going to move into a rolling topping pattern right here around the 29th, 30th, all the way down into possibly this mode, this counter trend here, where I think this is where we're going to be swapping out in this counter trend breakaway into the rally phase. Make sense? This is our bottom, the breakaway, counter trend breakaway, and the inside breakaway or carryover here in counter trend mode, which is tomorrow. Inside breakaway, carryover. Yeah, so right over in here, I think this is going to set up our breakdown pattern. Really, potentially this carryover in counter trend mode. So again, draw too many things on these things sometimes, but pay attention to how this is going to play out, because really, once you get over here 25th, the end of this week, Friday and Monday, I think you really need to prepare for this downside move. It looks like it's inevitable and you can't get away from it. So be aware that come Thursday, Friday at the highs, try to pick the highs and get set, in my opinion, get set up for a breakdown into the next week. Okay, guys, that's it for now. Talk to you later. Go get some.